This is video 2 in the Rocket Stove series. See why I think Alibre Atom3D is the best CAD software for beginners with no commercial limits and a perpetual license. In this video I'll be using reference geometry to perfectly locate the slots for the ash grate using the circular pattern tool to speed up the process. Then a sketch is projected onto the face followed by extrude cuts to make the twist lock 2000. But first we have to remove the mock-up that was done in the first video. That's done in the Design Explorer, or also called the history tree. To do this you need to remove the features first because they were built on top of the sketches. Then it's usually the sketch followed by the planes and axes. A good 3D model starts with individual design parts. These parts are then assembled in the 3D modeling environment to ensure everything fits and functions before any material is touched, saving both time and money. The real advantage of this process is that if a part needs revision, you can simply update that one file. From there it's easy to create detailed drawing files for printing or export them for CNC cutting and machining. Now I'm going to modify the original sketch to include the inside diameter of the pipe. During the first video's mock-up, it took fewer clicks to show all four sides in one action instead of adding the inside diameter of the pipe in every sketch. As I exit out of the original, the extrusion updates. This is one of the many benefits of a parametric CAD program. We will draw the ash grate on the ZX plane. If any flat earthers are watching, you will always want to use this plane and stay away from the edges. I will use a few reference lines and circles to map out where I want the slots. Reference geometry and CAD programs like Alibre also include tools like planes, axes and points that help you design your model or assembly. These aren't physical parts of the model, but act as guides. Think of reference geometry as the framework that keeps your design accurate and organised. The grates are 7/32 in diameter, and the outer slot's edge will be on the vertical pipe's inside diameter to easily locate it when it comes time for fabrication, which is 108.2 millimeters or 4¼ inches. So the next ring will be 7/64 smaller to give me the radius of the circular slots. To stop my brain from melting, I found an excellent conversion chart by Avid CNC. It's very easy to read and the link is in the description. To make the next step easier, I added 2 more reference lines to define the start and end point of the slots. I've turned on the auto constrain feature, so when I drag the vertical line down, Atom3D automatically applied the vertical and horizontal constraints. If you hover over these constraints, an icon will appear next to your cursor and you can delete them if needed. Next I'll dimension the lines to be 7/64 of the Z and X axis. You will notice that the reference circles are shown in a green dashed lines. This makes them easy to distinguish from standard sketch lines, which are solid and can appear as red, yellow or black depending on the amount of degrees of freedom or if they are fully constrained. If you're finding this series helpful, let me know by hitting the like button. It promotes dopamine in my brain. For the circular slots, we have to select the drop down menu of the straight slot and choose the circular slot with the center start. The origin is the center of all the grates, and the second largest reference circle makes a bit more sense now. The next 3 slots will follow the same MO. Being stainless steel, it'd be a nightmare to try and do this great design by hand, not to mention the added complexity of it being a pipe. When it comes to dimensioning all of them, you'll see that I'm just going to dimension the circle, and the diameter will be 7/32 or 5.557 millimeters. And by hitting the spacebar, I'll bring up the tool menu, and I'll select the constraints and the equal constraint. And then if I click on the circle and click on each corresponding slot, they will all have the same radius, and now that drawing is fully constrained. The next bit of 3D modeling magic is using the circular pattern tool. Start by pressing S to activate the select tool, then draw a box around the slots. This will be highlighted in blue and automatically listed under the selected objects in the circular pattern tool. However, the tool has also included the reference lines. While these won't affect the operation, I'll remove them anyway. To do this, scroll down to the last selected item, then hold Shift, scroll up to the first reference line, left click to select all of the reference lines at once, and then hit Delete. Since we want 4 patterns, I'll leave the number of instances set to 4. Next we need to define the center point, which will be the origin. Click OK, and now we have our pattern. The repeated slot patterns are all red, indicating that they're undefined. You could go through the same process as before, but since they're copies of a fully defined sketch, I don't bother. As I exit the sketch, sketch 2 is still highlighted. Select the extrude cut tool. You'll notice that the cut extrude arrow points in the wrong direction. Simply reverse it, and when prompted for a cut depth, I set it to outside diameter divided by 2. Select OK, and that's the ash grate complete. As your model gains more features in the Design Explorer, it's a good idea to clearly label them for better organisation. I'll start by renaming the sketch. Now, you might be thinking, am I following a CAD tutorial from someone who can't spell? Don't worry, you can rename the features anytime. And if you've made it this far, you are doing great. Don't forget to save your drawings periodically too. At the top of the toolbar, I orientate the front view and activate the sketch. To use the pipe's geometry, I select Project Sketch and choose Reference Figure instead of Sketch Figure. By selecting Maintain Association, the projected figures stay constrained to the original dimensions, allowing my lines to easily snap to the inside or outside diameter of the pipe. For the air intake choke plate, I use a tab slot design to speed up the fabrication. This is simply a rectangular cut at the bottom of the base of the tube. I use the symmetrical constraint and I center the rectangle so both vertical faces mirror each other off the y-axis. The height doesn't matter as long as it extends past the inside and outside diameters of the pipe. For the horizontal dimension, I set that to 1/4 inch or 6.35 millimeters. Now the sketch is still yellow, that's because there's still 1 degree of freedom, which will be on the y-axis. To prevent this from going anywhere and fully constraining it, I'll just throw in a rough dimension off the origin. Once I click that, the drawing is fully constrained and I'll exit the sketch. I select sketch 3 and use the extrude cut tool. The cut depth is still set to half the pipe diameter, so I update that to 3.175 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch and press OK. To create the twist lock at the back of the base tube, I use the preset views to snap to the rear view, and I select its face, activate the sketch and then project a sketch. Choose the reference figures again, ensuring that I maintain association, and click OK. Selecting the line tool, when I draw the first line from the origin to the outside, the automatically turns yellow, indicating that the line is defined as it snapped to the outer reference line. Next, I add the other line beside it, and to easily join the two lines, I use the arc tool for the inside and outside diameters of the pipe. For the extrude cut to work, I need to delete the lines inside the circle. If I hit the space to choose select and then try to delete the part of the line, the entire line gets removed. To fix this, I can press Ctrl Z to undo the last action. Instead, I use the trim tool, which only removes a specific portion of the line which I select. This makes the sketch ready for the cut operation. The two smaller lines turned red after trimming. To simplify things, I'll replace these with reference lines, which helps reduce the degrees of freedom. Since this shape is essentially a circle, it's easier to use degrees to define the sketch. I'll use the y-axis as a reference and space each at 15 degrees. I hope you're starting to see the benefit of reference lines. With the sketch fully defined, we can now use the circular pattern tool to add 2 more instances. By drawing a selection box around the sketch figures, they appear in the selected objects. I drop the number of instances to 3 with the down arrow, and in the selection window I choose the origin point. Click OK, deactivate the sketch. With sketch 4 selected, I use the extrude cut and I will set the depth to 1/2 an inch or 12.7 millimeters and click OK. If anyone watching would do this twist lock step any differently, could you leave a comment below with your thoughts? It's easy enough to do in 2 steps, but as the old CAD saying goes, less clicks gets the chicks. With the rear face selected, I project the sketch again. To avoid sounding like a broken record, I select the whole face and turn it into a reference figure, then maintaining association. Using the line tool, I draw 2 more lines from the origin to the OD, but moving the slot 15 degrees to the right. Next, I select the arc tool, starting at the origin to close off the sketch for both inside and outside diameters of the pipe. Next, the trim tool to remove the lines inside the pipe. Because the auto constraint was active, it asked me if I wanted to delete the lines removing the constraint. But sometimes breaking free of constraints holding you back is a good thing. With both internal lines removed, the small line on the left is fully constrained because of the reference sketch. Meanwhile, the red line still has a vertical constraint, so it can move around the pipe's face while staying vertical. I could define its angle or make it collinear with a y-axis, but nothing is more dramatic than slapping a vertical constraint on a reference line. With the sketch fully defined, we can place the slots at 120-degree intervals around the pipe. To easily work this out, I will use the circular tool. I select the sketch and a rogue reference line, only to kick it out of the exclusive Selected Objects box. Drop the instances to 3 and select the origin for the center. Deactivate the sketch and we're ready to extrude. I reverse the extrusion and I want to give it a little bit of clearance. We're using 1/4 inch plate, so I'll give it another 1/4 of a mil, so 6.6 millimeters, and select OK. That's it for the base tube. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you're following along, remember to save your drawing.